welcome to our January 2026 meeting of Arvadans for Progressive Action. I just wrote 2026 for the first time today, writing a check for the church.
Sure.
And I'm not on the video because the owl only sees at night.
Stand behind the podium.
Behind the podium, Jim. So this is a different meeting, as you may have noticed online. Our theme is "This is your world. Shape it or someone else will." And we're watching a lot of someone else's shaping it. Reminder, we do record our meetings, but this one's different. Again, we're only recording the intro, which is going to include longer than usual statements by our action team leaders to give you things to contemplate about what we're already doing and what you might want us to do instead or in addition. So again, we're extending our action team leaders' introductions today so we can really get a feel for, okay, where has APA been for the last 9 years? What have we been up to? And what holes do you think are left? What would you like us doing more or less of? The open mic section where you get to hold this little guy and make your voice heard throughout the small room. That will not be recorded. It will not be online. The intro from our action team leaders will be available on our website. Do we have first-time attendees who are willing to stand up and tell us who you are and perhaps why you're here, what you care about? Should I make them come up, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, this is about action.
Do we all stand up?
Sure, make one.
Great.
That way we can stare at you and make you feel self-conscious.
Stand next to the podium or.
Stand next to the podium, follow me.
I'll see you in the race.
That's right there, yay! Please tell us your name and what you're worried about, or what you're excited about, what you're hoping for from APA, anything about why you're here.
30 seconds or less.
30 seconds.
Hello, my name is Miwa. I live in Arvada. Yeah, I feel like I think I heard of the group when seeing you guys on the bridge, like Wadsworth Pass. I live like right in town, and I just remember early like June feeling so hopeless, and seeing you guys out there, I just felt really like, oh, people care and are doing something. So I just felt like I want to be involved. I don't know how or what that looks like, but yeah, I'm just feeling the stress of like what is happening in our world. So welcome.
Hi, my name is Joan Wilkinson and I live in Arvada. I've been going to the demonstrations since I moved here, and I moved into Arvada in May of this year. And I'm just looking to be involved.
Hi, I'm Sarah Silver. I'm an educator in Arvada. I'm a union rep and I'm part of the political action team. And so I heard about this through the union and then signed up immediately, and I'm excited to be here. Union. ACEA.
My name is Terry Tucker. I was involved some years back, so I'm sort of re-engaging. I'm very active with some other progressive groups, and I'm a leader in some of them. And I know Pat Ballone, we go back to the Bernie campaign. So anyway, I'm here with Karen Breslin. She is a friend of mine, so I'm her super volunteer.
I'm Nancy Bolt. I heard about this from Together Colorado, and I'm interested in political action as well. And I'm also interested in the construction under the railroad and how that's all going to work and that it goes smoothly. And I don't know what this group is involved in related to that, but I'm really curious about how that's going to work.
My name is Sharon. I'm on just about every progressive liberal democracy focused group on Facebook. So this is one more. And I'm just looking for something concrete to do to help our country.
Hello, my name is Bob Hoffman. I'm a lifelong Democrat, and I'm interested in making sure we elect the right people to lead us from a political standpoint or from any kind of standpoint. And I want to make sure that we do everything we can to make that happen. And I hope you all agree.
Thank you. Yeah, you're in the right place, Bob. We've done amazing work with the Arvada City Council. And we've done less amazing group with the White House, but that's on our horizon, maybe. We're thinking about it, that's for sure. And so,
Anybody on Zoom?
do we have anybody on Zoom that's new and would like to introduce themselves, is willing to introduce themselves? All right, welcome. Welcome to everybody on Zoom. Do we have elected officials or candidates? I believe we have one or two elected officials or candidates. Come on up if you would like to introduce yourself.
Nothing for pace.
You can be brief, Sharon, that's
No.
okay.
Hi, I'm Sharon Davis. I'm Arvada City Council member at large, and I'm here to just take the pulse of what's going on in APA. I follow you specifically on Facebook, and I talk to some of you in the public. But I think it's really important right now, after I'm seeing what's happening on the federal level, that we start ginning ourselves up on the local level to just have our hearts in the right place, but also have our armor on in the unlikely event that something happens in Arvada. As you've seen in Southeast Colorado, the Trump administration has vetoed the clean water project that was out there. And so it may be incumbent upon Coloradans to take care of Coloradans. And I want to make sure that in Arvada, we don't have a chalk block to that kind of progress supporting one another. So thank you again. I'm Sharon Davis.
Welcome.
That was this like 2 minutes that you gave
We're giving you three.
me?
And let's back you up so people at home can see it.
There you go. Am I in the right spot now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, awesome. And can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm Karen Breslin. I am a political science professor. I worked for 25 years for the National Park Service. I'm a lawyer, and before that, I covered Congress and the executive branch. I'm running against John Hickenlooper. I've been in this race since about February. I'm running against him because he is the wrong person for this moment. Am I wrong? And I think I'm the right person for this moment because I bring an enormous amount of federal policy experience and knowledge to this race. And that's important because you can't stop Donald Trump unless you know how the levers work. And right now, the Venezuela thing, I'm sure that's on everyone's minds. Illegal, going to make us deeply unsafe. You know, it's just bad on so many grounds. We will not stop Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans by continuing to do what we have done. I've been putting together an affordability platform for the last few days. And the truth is, a lack of affordability reflects a breakdown in democracy. We all know that. We feel it deep in our bones. This political system is rotten to the core. And people like you are out there defending it, trying to overturn the dysfunction that has just so completely overwhelmed it. And so I appreciate your efforts to try to make our political system better than it is. And that's how we're going to defeat Donald Trump. What I would say about going forward, I'm so overwhelmed right now. Are y'all feeling that right now? Like my brain is just mush at the moment. Here's the thing. We cannot lose this fight. I feel that more than I've ever felt it in my entire adult life. Some of you have been around long enough to know how many bad ideas have reemerged and gained traction. And that's what each of you are out there resisting every single day, and so am I. The idea that corporations know best, the idea that a political party that carries water for corporate interests is the way to have a democracy. We're not in a democracy anymore. Who are we kidding now? And it's not just Donald Trump. It's Democrats who take corporate money. It's Democrats who look the other way with his destruction in Gaza. $21 billion we spent to destroy Gaza. That's an outrage. And so until we stand up for working people, for people around the world who are oppressed by US power, and now that includes the Venezuelans, it has for a while now, but in a more focused sort of way.
until we stand for human rights again as a country, until we stand with working people in terms of our needs, this country is not going to ever be great again. And I predict a dystopian future if we don't find the spine right now to really step up and confront what faces us. And you all are doing it. The one thing about this campaign, so I've been in 25 counties and I don't know, I think I've been to about 100 events like this at this point of various sorts where I've had the opportunity to be present or send some few words. And people's resistance is so impressive. But what's Hickenlooper done?
Nothing.
It's almost impossible, isn't it? And so if there are Democrats who are elected officials who aren't standing up right now, they don't deserve our vote. We should not be sending them back. That's why I'm in this race. Thank you for tolerating my. I get on the ballot through the caucus and assembly process. I need your help with that. Absolutely, please show up. We're going to send around a clipboard, and I'm going to hang around. I'd love to chat with you after. I really appreciate your time and all the work that you're doing to defend our democracy. Thank you.
Karen did a great job of recognizing Nancy with our timekeeping. Great job. That's a reminder to everybody else who speaks today that Nancy is the boss. And who else do we have for elected officials and candidates?
Amanda's not here.
Amanda is not here. We kind of expected Amanda, but
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe she's coming from some other commitment. We'll get her next or later. All right, this group, as many of you know, was founded during another dark time in our history in November, December of 2016. I wonder what happened then. And we aren't quite out of it yet. One of our traditions that goes back to that time period is we have a tradition of sharing what gives us hope and or what keeps us up at night. Who would like to share something that gives you hope or something that keeps you up at night?
Sharon, the other Sharon.
The other Sharon.
Young people, Gen Z, my daughter being one example, and all of her friends. And she has several trans friends, several LGBTQ friends, and they do give me hope.
How Tabor is starving our state in so many different ways.
Yep. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Harriet, and what keeps me up at night, I didn't know last night, and it's gonna keep me up tonight. But what gives me hope is being a resistor sister and being out there every Sunday and speaking out for what we care about.
Anybody else feeling the mood?
Stand up.
Nope.
No. Okay, I'll stand up. What's keeping me up at night is the stock market with this madman who's in charge of our country. I'm a widow with a mortgage. I still have to work. I'm 70, gonna be 74. I substitute teach, and I can't do it forever. I have enough money right now probably to pay off my house, but I would be living hand to mouth. So yeah, I'm in a quandary about what to do, and I'm not even sure that economists that I listen to, Justin Wolfers and all those guys, I don't even think they know what's going on, because he said we've never had a recession due to tariffs. So that's only one of the things. Venezuela. I'm going to go home and take a Xanax. Just telling you.
Xanax gives us hope.
I was gonna say, for giving hope for a local win, the Jefferson County Public Library workers came to agreement with our admin and our exec. It's not ratified yet, so it's not finalized, but because patrons from all across Jeffco came out, we are both going to have a progressive dress code. We are going to actually acknowledge the work of a third of our employees who previously were temporary replaceable employees, who are the foundation of the library. And we are making a lot of efforts to maintain our ability to be a third place where people have free access for information despite all the attempts of our admin to make us more conservative. So that's been a huge win for us.
Thank you to all APA members who helped with Jefferson County Library. Nice job. All right, we now get reports for our action team leaders. No, we don't. We're going to do Amanda Gonzalez first. Hold on up.
I've been doing up to 900 miles a weekend in my car and it finally died. So I'm sorry.
We aren't going to say that you were in the green room just waiting.
It's definitely where I was. All right. I'm sorry. How many minutes do I have? 3. Perfect. Awesome. Hello. This is amazing. Like in this moment where everybody, I think, feels lonely and hates watching everything on TV right now, like to see a room this full, thank you so much. This is amazing. All right. So as I chat today, I have 2 things I want you to keep in mind. The first is how friggin' phenomenal Colorado's voting system is. Right? Yes. We have same-day voter registration. We have drop boxes on every corner. Everything is safe and secure. We do everything in bipartisan teams. Mail ballots for every active registered voter. And the second thing I want you to keep in mind is in a moment where our president is threatening every aspect of that voting system, can we afford to have anyone in charge of the 2028 presidential who's never run an election before? No. So my name's Amanda Gonzalez. I am your current clerk and recorder in Jefferson County. I have run elections for more than 500,000 people, and I am the only person on the ballot who has done that. I'm the only person on the ballot who's run elections. But my experience goes beyond just the clerk and recorder's office. I'm an election attorney, and I used to run a voting rights nonprofit called Colorado Common Cause, which I see some familiar faces. I wrote the law that doubled the number of drop boxes. I wrote the law that created automatic voter registration at our DMVs. And I have been fighting to make our election system more inclusive and expanded for everyone for the bulk of my career. But let's be honest, we have a fight ahead of us. A lot of the work coming up is about defending what we have in Colorado, because we already know that we're a target, right? We see headlines about Tina Peters every 4 seconds. Yeah. Yep. And I'm ready for a fight. I'm the only Democrat in my family. Yeah, it happens. I was the first in my family to go to college. I was the first in my family to go to law school. And with your help, I'm going to be the first Latina to ever serve as Colorado's Secretary of State. And I see some election judges in the room, so thank you for serving as election judges. But you all know that I can get real nerdy real quickly. I've taught election law at DU's law school, and I'm not talking to you about democracy and voting today as an academic exercise, right? In a functional democracy, we don't wake up to discover that we are at war. In a functional democracy, we're not worried about sending kids to school or going to a movie or going to church because we would actually have sensible gun laws, right? Democracy is the foundation of all other rights, and we have to protect it. I'm out of time, but I am Amanda for Colorado on all of the things. I will also pass around a sign-in sheet in case you want to keep in touch. Would love to hang out, get nerdy with you. Thank you for being here.
Are you gonna stay and hang out to talk at the end?
I will hang for a little bit. We'll see how long. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, as I said, we're going to spend a little longer today with our intros from action team leaders so you can get a real sense of what action teams are doing, have been doing, are looking forward to doing, so you can get a sense, do I want to join one of these or do I want to change one of these? Also, see, I guess.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. but the microphone just disconnected with the Zoom feed at the end of Amanda's talk. The last couple sentences she said,
Can you hear us at all?
no, not hearing you. I don't know. Is anybody else on Zoom hearing you? Because make sure it's not at my end.
The Democratic hoax.
Thanks, Lazy.
Ann says that they can hear.
So Ann Vesberg says she can hear.
Okay, so it looks like it's a one system problem on your end, and we'll keep going as well as we can up here. We're going to start with education. Our education team lead is Allison Phipps. Allison will join us as soon as we figure out how our videos and audio is
In
going.
the chat so he can hear you. If you can't hear us, okay.
Thank you. Hi. Okay. Sorry, I'm like, can't help myself. I've got a communication brain and I'm like, in the Zoom. I'm Allison. I am the education team lead at APA. How long do I have? 4 minutes. I'm probably not going to take that long. Education has kind of morphed. It started slowly. I became the education team lead 2 or 3 years ago because I have kids in elementary school. And so I care about public schools. They're both in elementary school. They're both going to Jeffco Public Schools. I think we should all care about public schools. Our kids are our future. And I do feel like strong public schools keep us all safer. They keep our kids safer. They keep our kids fed. They keep our kids educated. And they make our society as a whole better. So it's hard on a local level, like what can I do in Arvada just for the school? So it started off a little slow. It sort of picked up this year with a group that started that's called Engage Jeffco. So I've been taking a leadership role in Engage Jeffco. APA is a sister group of Engage Jeffco, but so we're the Arvada division, but Engage Jeffco really is the entire district. So what are we doing? We're attending every single board meeting, trying to recap the board meetings and get a pulse on like what's happening. What are people concerned about? We're forming partnerships with JCA, with JESPA. Those are the unions for the teachers union, and then also the staff, the staff, the workers union for the schools. We're forming relationships with different groups throughout the district. And one of the big pushes this year will be to work on the mill. So there's very likely going to be a mill levy on the 2026 ballot. There are meetings starting next week. Let's see, I'm just looking at my calendar. It's the 8th. My phone won't open. Yes, starting on the 8th. There's a partnership for fiscal sustainability run by the Jeffco School District. It's open to anyone. I mean, I will attend as a liaison for APA, but I encourage anyone who's interested in forming the mill and has opinions on what should be on the mill to attend these meetings and see what they're about. I don't know how much power we'll have in as far as like what will be on the mill, what that money will be allotted for, but I do have concerns of wanting the district to have some accountability on what the voters are voting for and using that money exactly for those things in Jeffco. I guess there's been some news stories lately about former mills and they were allotted for mental health and they are now cutting mental health programming within the schools. So if mental health is a safety measure on the mill, we want to make sure that the district is accountable in keeping mental health systems intact in the district. So if that interests you at all, please join very long, boring meetings with me. Actually, it's only an hour and a half. So on the 8th, I'll be there. If anybody's interested, please come. Yeah. So I will send out another email. It's at the Education Center. So that is In Golden. It's in Golden. It's the Jeffco Education Center.
West.
Yeah, and I'll send it out in an email. That's the easiest way. I mean, I can tell you the address right now verbally, but It went out in the last education newsletter, and the newsletter, the APA CTA that went out last week, I think it was in that one too. So, but please, I'll send out another email at the beginning of this week as a reminder if you want to be part of those meetings and how to sign up. There'll be a link so that you can contact and get all the emails and everything like that too.
Can you tell us the time though, right?
Sure, yeah. The time is 5 p.m. on January 8th. 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Jeffco Education Center in Golden. So, yeah. Oh, my time's up. Great. I didn't think I was gonna take 4 minutes.
Thank you. And for those of you who need jargon explanation, CTA is a call to action. It's what you get every week if you're on the APA mailing list. If you're on the education mailing list, you'll get those details. If you're not on the education mailing list, in other words, when you signed up with APA, you didn't put a check mark next to education, you won't get that email from Allison, and you should talk to her or Pat Malone about getting yourself on the education mailing list or any of these other action teams, if that's where you want to be. Bruce Morrison, where are you? All right, anti-war, Bruce Morrison.
Thank you. Wow. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm Bruce from the Anti-War Action Team. We work to educate people on the enormous negative impact of war and the preparation for war on Arvada and the world. As you've heard, the news in Venezuela, the invasion without any notification of Congress, captured the Maduro and his wife. There is a hands-off Venezuela emergency action today, 7 p.m., if you can make it after this, so those tight, on the Capitol steps. So if you can make that, that'd be good. What we've been doing over the last year, we handed out information cards on the genocide in Gaza at the farmers market a couple of times. We had a generally very good reception. People really appreciated the information, except for there was a couple of people that objected pretty strongly. We had a viewing of No Other Land, an award-winning film about the destruction of a community in West Bank. It was distribution was somewhat limited, so we had to struggle to get a copy. We made numerous calls to our members of Congress supporting Stop the Bombs Act and to remind our members of Congress about the genocide, that the genocide continues. It's still going on. People are still getting killed. Humanitarian aid is not flowing freely into Gaza, and the settler violence is out of control. None of our Colorado Democratic members of Congress have condemned Israel's atrocities in Gaza and the West Bank. None have opposed massive wasteful military spending. They all support weapons for genocide. So that's kind of where we're at. Representative Brittany Pedersen has been particularly bad. Their support for Israel, supporting not only weapons, but weaponizing anti-Semitism against protesters. Now we come to a little bit better news. In 2026, we now have two progressive anti-genocide candidates challenging John Hickenlooper for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. And I was really excited to have Karen Breslin here so that she could meet everybody and tell her what she's going to do, because she's progressive and she doesn't support what's happening in Gaza. The other one is Julie Gonzalez, who's also a good progressive and has made strong statements against what's happening in Gaza. Yeah, time up 30 seconds. Okay. I also want to mention that how war impacts other issues. It is necessary to stop wars to save the environment. There's a film called Earth's Worst Enemy. It's about the impact of preparation for war and war on the environment. Also, uh, democracy is incompatible with war. War requires secrecy, it requires authoritarian structures, and democracy requires transparency and freedoms. Our next meeting, one more thing. The taxpayers of Arvada will send another $320 million to the war machine with the new National Defense Authorization Act. That's the way it.
And your next meeting is?
Next meeting is September 8th at 6:30.
January.
January. What did I say? September. Sorry.
Thank you, Darlon Chang, for climate change action.
I am Darlon, and I'm the APA Climate Action Team Lead, and I'm glad to follow Bruce because with regards to climate, not only is war affecting climate, we're already on the front lines of a war against nature. And that's the essence of the climate problem, that all of us are contributing to the destruction of nature, and we need to work to end this war. And to end this war, we need to transition off of fossil fuels. I have a personal experience with this in that I worked for ExxonMobil for 16 years, from 2003 to 2019. And during that time, I was trying to work from the inside and trying to help the company transition away from fossil fuels into clean energy. But I found myself doing more and more research projects on fracking and helping to increase our dependence on oil and gas by the end of my career rather than getting us off of it. So I had to leave the company out of conscience in 2019. And I decided to move my family to Arvada because there is a net zero all electric neighborhood called Geos that was started about 2015. And I was able to buy a house there in 2018. And I've been living there since. And this neighborhood doesn't have any gas lines for the first 28 homes. And we're trying to show that it's possible to live without oil and gas and to cut off our dependence from oil and gas. But I also suffered from the climate chaos that's caused by fossil fuel dependence myself. When I was in Houston, we were hit with Hurricane Harvey in 2018, and my daughter was only 9 years old, and she experienced the effect of Hurricane Harvey full force. We had to evacuate, and when we came back, we saw that many of the neighborhoods near us were flooded waist deep, and power outages were common. And we experienced something similar to that just a couple of weeks ago when our power was cut in the Geos neighborhood because of the strong hurricane force winds that came and required Excel to have to shut off power for much of the area. So a lot of West Arvada was affected. My house didn't have power for 3 days. Fortunately, since we already experienced this during hurricanes in Houston, we decided to have a electric power wall to give us backup power. And that helped a bit, but we weren't completely immune because somehow Excel shut off our solar power generation for big periods of time. So our battery wasn't able to last through much of the power outage. Having this experience and having to transition my own career and my own life to clean energy, I'm trying to work with APA to get the city council to enact a climate action and sustainability plan. And we're on the cusp of that. That climate action sustainability plan was released to the public as a draft just last month. And thanks in part to all of the APA members that contributed, we have 250 responses to that plan so far. Unfortunately, the deadline for that feedback is tomorrow. So if you haven't had a chance to do it yet, just Google Arvada Climate Action and you'll get to the page that gives you the link for looking at the plan and also giving your feedback on the plan. Even if you're not able to make it by tomorrow, you can still email comments to the city's sustainability coordinator, who is Steve Russell. So he'll still accept comments after tomorrow, but thanks to all the feedback for that. But once we get the plan enacted in Arvada, we still have a lot of work to do to get the plan to actually be funded. We need funding to make it happen. We need to actually get people to be able to make a living getting us clean energy rather than getting us dirty oil and gas energy. And so there's going to be a lot of work beyond that. And so after that, I'm going to have a meeting this week, this month. I'll send out an email about that, about coordinating our public comments to City Council. So thanks a lot.
We have a request from the Zoom audience asking for the team leads to give us a list of their upcoming actions and if they have websites or other locations that they can indicate where people who are interested in a particular topic, where they can make connections.
Great. Mindy Moore is in charge of affordable housing. I wish she was in charge of affordable housing. She's in charge of Arvada's progressive actions effort to encourage affordable housing.
Right. Yeah, Donald Trump's favorite word, affordability, right? I'm actually going to talk about both homelessness and affordable housing since they are linked together. And on homelessness, just over a year ago, about 130 people signed a petition to Arvada City Council supporting a navigation center. Thank you to the many APA members who signed that. Also members of the faith community signed. As we know, our city backed away from that idea for now, but they did hold 4 community conversations on homelessness. And many APA people went to those. We were represented at all 4 meetings. So thank you also to the APA members who went to those conversations. For 2026, we need to keep pressure on the city for addressing homelessness. Arvada had gotten a state grant. They leased 35 rooms at Suburban Studios, and that provided not just shelter, but case management. And they successfully got about 100 people into housing. I don't know if they'll have funding to continue that effort. Also, the city has a strategic goal to move the Mission Arvada services out of Old Town in 2026. The Rising Church has agreed to that publicly, and the city seems committed to helping that happen. But we know that whatever location's found, if it's in Arvada city limits, there's going to be pushback. So please stay tuned. I'll let you know if we hear anything. If you've said you're interested in affordable housing or homelessness, you'll get infrequent emails from me, but I'll let you know when we need advocacy because I'm sure that's going to be an issue. On affordable housing, back in 2017, APA members kept showing up at Arvada City Council meetings saying housing prices were getting too high for our grown children. They can't live here. Now, of course, it's affecting everybody, seniors, people on fixed income, our essential service workers. It's a statewide crisis. City staff began meeting with us back in 2017, and we convinced them to form a housing advisory committee, and several APA members are on that. So the good news is, for the last 6 or 7 years, the city has been supporting the development of some new affordable housing, and even the Arvada Chamber of Commerce recognizes and speaks out on the need for workforce housing now. And our housing committee developed a brochure. You can't really say, but why housing affordability matters in Arvada. This is produced by the city. It's not quite final, but I'm hoping to get a bunch of copies of these from the city for us to share as advocates. Especially important is going to be in West Arvada. Do you know, at least right now, there are no apartment buildings west of Ward Road, West Arvada, Northwest Arvada. There's no rentals other than senior living like Springwood or Morningstar. That means anyone who wants to live out there or has to work out there, they have to buy a home, which is, expensive single family homes or townhomes. The workers who can't afford to buy something out west have to drive to work, adding traffic to our roads, which is an issue for sustainability and climate action. So one apartment building has actually finally been approved administratively. It's out in Candelas. It's surrounded by vacant land, so there were no neighbors to come and scream about it. Wait till they start construction. And then there is another one proposed in Westwoods, 64th and Easley, way out west. And those Westwood neighborhoods, 18 HOAs have their pitchforks out about it. It's going to the Planning Commission January 21st. I need you there. I'll put out something about it. But that's where they're going to Planning Commission asking for a recommendation to be approved, and then it will go to City Council. We'll work with the new Arvada YIMBY group. And finally, I just want to say, the next 2 years, our comprehensive plan in Arvada is being updated. This is the vision. So there's opportunities for us to speak out, not just about housing, but transportation issues. We heard about the questions about the road under the railroad, issues about sustainability and climate change, all will be important as that comprehensive plan is revised. So again, more calls for advocacy from everybody. I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
And am I right, Indeed, that you do not have regular meetings? You send out emails to everybody on your mailing list if you need
Yes.
help.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Political action is Joyce Richardson.
Hello, everyone. I am Joyce Richardson, and I am the chair of the Political Action Committee. I'm quite often the only, we kind of operate more like ad hoc, but I think we're going to try and change that this year. 2025 started off with the clear signs of dark days for progressives in the United States. We have since seen efforts to mitigate the worst of this regime's plans, but it is by no means certain how the next 3 years will play out. There is hope in that there's been strong responses from the citizenry that we are not pleased, and everyone has hopes for the midterms this November. People have been mobilized to call Congress members, asking them to exercise the power of the Congress with mixed results, but we have to continue this effort. The numbers of people participating in actions all across the United States, the No Kings rallies, vigils at detention centers, protests at Tesla dealerships, witnessing at immigration hearings, efforts to confront ICE agents are all having effects, and we must not get discouraged. On the local front, here, APA's front, Rachel Smallwood, our APA founder, kept us up to date on Colorado's legislative calendar, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this session. The Political Action Committee invited city council candidates to our summer picnics, sent out questionnaires to all the candidates, posted responses on our website, held a forum, and endorsed 3 candidates, all of whom were successful in their campaigns. Arvada City Council is a far more progressive council than it was before APA was founded. And we are, as an organization, are well known now for our activism. We also sent nagging Facebook reports to remind people to call their congressional reps about issues on the national front. The thing I'm most proud of from this team is that our APA website is a go-to read for voting information. We have the ability to see how many visits there are to our website, and our political page is very active prior to elections. Education of voters is one of our main goals. All of these efforts take time, and the political action team could really use more help and guidance on what to do in 2026. We will be having our first planning meeting of 2026, and I hope we will be able to do it every 3rd Thursday of the month. So our first meeting is January 15th at 6:30 p.m. at the Mirror Image Arts Center. Does anybody know? I'm pretty sure it's attached to the Episcopal Church right across from Carr. Its address is 6490 or 6470 Carr Street. I drove around it the other day. But I will be talking to Shaina Ambrose, who's been helping me coordinate that, and watch the events page on Facebook, and you'll get directions. The map that popped up on my event is not correct. But stay tuned and I'll give complete directions. So thank you.
Thanks, Joyce. Healthcare is Kathy Blake. Keep that microphone close.
Okay, this comes. Yeah, I still haven't quite recovered from the holidays. However, our team, healthcare team, advocates for a publicly financed, privately delivered, universal healthcare system in Colorado and nationwide. We have monthly Zoom healthcare meetings. The next one is January 10th at 4 p.m. on Zoom, and catch the CTA for the link. So some of the things we did in 2025, our team presented at 2 general APA meetings, just like this one.
March was the improved Medicare for all. Doctors speak out. So we had 3 doctors shared their frustration with the current system. In September, nobody's health benefits are safe. Learn the solution. Cuts in federal spending are causing a healthcare crisis. Our speakers discussed the impact to Coloradans and the long-term solution, which I will get to. Okay, so something that gives me hope is that APA is one of 6 core healthcare advocacy groups which formed a healthcare alliance to work for universal, affordable, comprehensive healthcare. Statewide support and teamwork are needed to achieve this goal. The movement is gaining momentum. One of the solution, Senate Bill 25-045 finally passed after 3 years. It creates a detailed analysis based on 10 healthcare essentials. And if anybody wants to know about them, I have some flyers that have that, and there's some great things in there. Okay. It was signed into law by Governor Polis, and due to the tight budget, unfortunately, the analysis is being funded by donations. The Alliance Health fundraising team has raised about 90% of the $750,000 goal. I want to thank APA, and individual members have contributed to that, their money and time to help with that effort. Thanks to all of you. And I also want to highlight Bobby Weber on our healthcare team. Please stand up, Bobby. She volunteered to be the Alliance Messaging and Communications team work groups. Go, Bobby.
Give you, please share these things, and social media and stuff like that will be coming out.
Something I need help with. Okay, we showed 2 healthcare movies. Sicko was in May, and Sick Around the World in September. And we had 2 local celebrities that worked on those 2 movies join us for those. And it was fun to find out about the experiences behind the movie making. We also contacted state and federal legislators and town halls, phone calls, and emails. Are you or someone you know losing their health insurance? These are future things we're working on. In the short term, we're researching low or no cost clinics or street medicine like the health fairs to help people access healthcare. We want to educate voters on how a single payer universal healthcare system would improve their lives and how to pay for it. How you can help. Asked to be added to the healthcare mailing list. Come to APA healthcare meetings or alliance meetings. They're weekly. Partner with someone else at a rally table, or bring a snack to the next movie night. Talk to friends, neighbors, and legislators about why you support single payer universal healthcare. Take a photo of your insurance premium or drug bill in 2026 compared to 2025 and email it to me, kathy.m.blake@gmail.com. Yes, I do need, okay, last thing. All eyes are on Colorado. Those who have health have hope. Those who have hope have everything. We'd love you to join us. Thank you.
And Pat Malone with Immigrant Partnership.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat Malone, and the Immigrant Partnership group formed last November. So everything we've been doing, that's what we've been doing in 2025. There's over 30 IPTs across Colorado, and a lot of them are on the front line. They have raids going on. They're helping people who are getting deported. They have prisons that are getting turned into detention centers, and they're on the front line. In Arvada, that's not the case.
but we're nearby to towns that are experiencing things like that. For example, Aurora and Denver and Centennial. So a lot of our members are quietly supporting the work that's being done in those towns. Many of us are retired and don't want to make the big commitment and say, I'm going to show up here every week at this time. And that I totally get that. I'm the same way. But the beauty of the work that we have to do here is that it doesn't take that kind of a commitment. You can show up when you can show up on your schedule. And once you get involved, you're going to find out you have more time to give than you may have thought. We're building, and this is pretty new going into 2026, we're building coalitions with other Jefferson County IPTs like Golden and Lakewood and Westminster. And also, a lot of our members are part of faith groups that have their own social justice groups that are doing similar or the same work. So we're joining forces, and we're able to make a lot bigger impact than just Arvada IPT. And in the back of the room, when you leave, if you would please, I have half sheets there, and it lists the work that we've been doing and will continue to do, but it's not everything, but it's a bunch of it. And this year we're planning on this IPT Jeffco group. We plan to meet with the school board and also with the county commissioners so we can help them know what they can do to support immigrants in our communities. My email address is on the back of that half sheet. Also on the table are the infamous red and white bilingual cards, Know Your Rights cards, and also these buttons, Protect Immigrant buttons. And I get that not everybody wants to wear a button and show, where their support is. But if you'll wear it, please take 2 or 3 of them so you'll always have them available for when you change your outfits. And take some of these red cards too, because when people say, I like your pin, you'll be able to talk to them about, oh, do you have somebody in your life who's at risk? And you can introduce them to the red cards, and you can always get more of those from me. And lastly, a lot of the work that members do is singular. They may be with other people, but not necessarily Arvada IPT people. So we're having our first social, and Karen Usery, who's been getting started helping me lead this group, she and I are hosting a social, and it's going to be on Sunday, February 1st from 3 to 4:30. It was mentioned in this week's CTA email, and it's going to be again in a couple more coming up in January. So please be on the lookout for that. You don't have to be a member of the IPT, but we hope we're going to share the work we've been doing and hopefully inspire each other to try out some new things. And I think that's about it because Nancy's given me the evil eye. Whatever you do in whatever capacity, thank you for helping to resist this nightmare regime.
And do we have Mara Otley or somebody else from rallies? Nancy, you want to talk about rallies? Do you want me to be the bad guy and time you?
I don't have that much to say.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I am the APA Rally Team Leader, also known as the Rabble Rouser. And APA, as you probably know, was the instigator of all the great rallies that started last spring, all of them on like the Wadsworth bypass and so forth. It's now become more of a grassroots movement, and we're working with other groups like 50501, Westminster Indivisible, and it's become very, very much a spur of the moment visibility brigade kind of thing. It's not all the big rallies that we're used to seeing and hearing about, because you're going to find out about those anyway. So if you stay tuned and can bear with that call to action, the newsletter, email, for every committee in here, every action team, it's invaluable information. So don't discount that long thing that may start kind of, like all newsletters do. That's where all the meat is. That's where you really find out what's going on. But I want to make a plug for the Resistor Sisters, now brothers, that stand on the corner every single Sunday between 11 and whenever we get tired with banners and signs and to promote everything from expose the Epstein files, we heart brown people with little emojis and so forth. Whatever the cause of the day du jour is, or the overriding evergreen messages to fight this regime, we're on that corner. And if you pay attention to the newsletter, I think our great comms team has that every time. Where we are, when we're going to be there. If it's under 40 degrees, we're chickens, we're not there. But we'd love to see you out in the corner holding a sign, holding a flag, and just being a warm body. And we have a lot of fun, by the way, too. So we'll be out there and read your newsletter to see when we're going to be there. Thanks.
All right, thank you all, action team leaders. We have a couple of announcements here, or at least one announcement before we turn to our open mic. If you didn't come planning on participating in open mic, it's not karaoke, you don't have to sing. But think over the next 4 minutes while I'm making these other announcements, think about whether you can talk about what your vision for the future of APA, this first meeting of 2026, and we'll open up open mic in a little bit. But first I want to mention leadership elections. We actually have bylaws written 9 years ago. We will have leadership elections that will be held via online vote in January, according to those bylaws. For voting members, if you don't know whether you're a voting member, you can ask Pat or somebody else and see, how do I make sure I'm a voting member? If you wish to hold a leadership position, please nominate yourself. What are those leadership positions? We have a treasurer, that's me. I don't mind being deposed. We have a chair position, which has been empty, but we'd love to have one. And action team leaders, you've just seen the action team leaders. If you would like to give them a break by working with them and becoming a team lead, that would be awesome. Again, please nominate yourself or someone else to run. Again, this election is going to be by email. Do we have any nominations now? I'm not expecting necessarily. You need time to think about it. If not, please talk to a team lead or email Arvadans for progressive action at gmail.com. We do monitor that email address, Arvadans for progressive action, one long word, at gmail.com by a week from today if you want to get a nominee onto that ballot. As I said, the chair position has been empty for a few years. What that person does, or did back when we had a chair, they run monthly leadership meetings on Zoom on the second Thursday of the month. All those people you just saw speak, they meet with me and with Taylor online on Zoom once a month, and we would love to have somebody who makes that meeting run smoothly. And you may choose to run general meetings like this one on the first Saturday of the month, or you can be the chair and delegate some or all of these general meetings if you'd rather not run them all. I haven't cleared that with everybody. But, no experience is necessary for treasurer or chair. If you want to be an action team lead, we recommend that you know something about what APA has been doing, preferably have been on that action team. But you could certainly come in and help an action team lead, even if you aren't ready to run for that office this time around. All right, let's move to our open mic. We have 4 topics that we've asked you to think about. What would you like APA to work on, or what would you like to learn from APA in 2026? How would you like to participate more fully with APA? Are there action teams or advocacy topics missing from those teams that you heard from today that you would want to engage in? And how about our framework, our system? We have these monthly meetings. We have a communication system set up. Does this structure work for you? And if not, do you have recommendations of what would be better? I would also include in that, this question kind of asks, what would you like more of from APA? And I would say that this question, number 4, asks, is there anything you'd like less of from APA? Because we certainly, we as a leadership team want to be responsible and listen to our members. So that's what this meeting's about. I will attempt to take notes on our open mic speakers. I've got some sheets up here numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. I may write, excuse me, I may write things on the wrong sheet, and you can either yell at me or say, it doesn't really matter, let him write it on the wrong sheet. If you're on your way up, you're going to be talking about question 1 or question 3 or question 4 or 2. You can say that. Otherwise, you can watch my wheels turning as I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about. I taught high school for 33 years and took notes on students, and I'm sure you're more literate than they are. So I will try to do the best I can. So if you'd like to speak on open mic, you can raise your hand at any time and ask for the mic next. If you would rather not speak, you have index cards on your table, and you can write notes that Joyce will collect, and she will stick them up here around these. And at the end of the meeting, or near the end of the meeting, we're going to express our opinions with those little dots that you've got near your table. If the people in the back don't have dots, I've got more dots. So listen for what you agree with and what you would like to express your support for coming out from either of these open mic speakers, or I will read, or Joyce will read the index cards afterwards, so you can hear what the people who wrote on index cards think and say, yeah, I want to support that idea. I want to stick one of my dots on that idea. So, question, Taylor Jernigan.
So we are not going to record the rest of the meeting on the Zoom. So if there's anybody on Zoom has something that you would like to say, now's a good time to unmute yourself and say it. Otherwise, you can send comments and ideas to our email, Arvadans for Progressive Action @gmail.com.
Thank you. Who's first up with the not karaoke?